Situationships, when what are we becomes the dreaded question. Perhaps you're currently in a situationship. It's a fairly common term in modern American dating culture, describing an undefined romantic relationship that exists somewhere between casual dating and a committed official relationship. You feel a connection, there are moments of closeness, but at the same time, there's always an invisible distance, an ambiguity that prevents you from fully grasping the other person. Some days they are very enthusiastic, texting and calling frequently, planning exciting dates. But then suddenly they become distant, slow to reply to messages, or cancel plans at the last minute with vague excuses. This feeling is like trying to hold on to smoke. It's there. You can sense it, but it easily slips through your fingers. You don't have complete control over the trajectory of this relationship. You might have spent months getting to know each other, sharing intimate details, perhaps even meeting each other's friends at casual gatherings. But when it comes to defining the relationship, things get complicated. The question, what are we, hangs in the air, heavy and daunting, to the point where you hesitate to even voice it. You fear that bringing it up might shatter the current fragility, even though that fragility is slowly eroding your peace of mind. You feel like they don't truly belong to you in a meaningful way. This can manifest in various subtle forms within the American cultural context. For example, they might avoid posting pictures of the two of you together on social media. Or if they do, it's only group photos with generic captions that don't hint at anything romantic. They might not have introduced you to their family or closest friends, a significant step often seen in serious relationships in the US. Or perhaps you realize that you're not always their top priority. Weekend plans are often decided last minute, and you get the feeling you're just an option when they don't have anything better to do. Sometimes, you feel like you're always the one who has to compromise, sacrificing your time or emotions to maintain this fragile connection. Regardless of the specific manifestations, the common thread of a situationship is the absence of a clear commitment and an official acknowledgement of the nature of the relationship. It doesn't have a specific label that both individuals agree on. In a society where defining the relationship, DTR, is a significant step, being stuck in a situationship can cause a lot of confusion and insecurity. The term situationship is increasingly prevalent on online forums, social media, and in everyday conversations, indicating that this is not an uncommon dating experience. And importantly, most people in a situationship can sense its instability and uncertainty without needing anyone to explicitly point it out. Once you realize you're in a situationship, the next big question often is, when should I end it? This is a difficult decision because human emotions are complex. Some people get stuck in these undefined relationships for extended periods. They waver, wondering if they should continue to wait, hoping the other person will change and finally recognize the value of the relationship. They ask themselves if their patience and sincere affection will be duly rewarded. On the other hand, the thought of walking away from this relationship also comes with its own set of fears. If you decide to leave now and seek a new relationship, will you miss out on an opportunity with this person if they genuinely change in the future? Will you regret not giving them more time? Or more frighteningly, will you be able to find someone else with whom you feel such a strong connection? Especially when friends around you seem to be settling into clear-cut relationships, the pressure to find the one can become heavier. You might also feel regret for the time and emotional energy invested in this relationship. The dates, the late-night conversations, the memories you've created together. The thought of starting over, of going through the phase of getting to know someone new, dating again, can make you feel tired and hesitant. All these concerns and anxieties are completely understandable. When you're facing questions like these, recognizing the warning signs can help you make a more informed decision about whether to continue or end this situationship. One of the clearest signs that you should consider ending a situationship is when the relationship lacks a clear direction for growth. If you've been with someone for months or even a year and still feel a sense of ambiguity about the future of the relationship, that's a significant red flag. You don't know where this relationship is headed, whether there's a possibility of progressing to an official relationship, or if it will simply continue to drift in uncertainty. You might not even know what to call this relationship when talking to friends or family. This prolonged lack of clarity can lead to feelings of insecurity and being undervalued. Recall the widely shared story online about a young woman in New York. After months of dating a guy, sharing romantic evenings in Manhattan, and short weekend getaways, she felt confident about their relationship. At a mutual friend's birthday party, when asked about their relationship status, she happily replied, "Oh, we're dating." Immediately, she noticed a change in the guy's expression. Later, he pulled her aside and said with an annoyed tone, "Why would you say that? We never actually talked about that." In that moment, the woman realized that what she had perceived as a developing relationship was in fact based on her own assumptions. The absence of a frank conversation about both individuals' expectations and desires had led to this painful misunderstanding. The second sign to watch out for is when you feel like all the effort to maintain and develop the relationship seems to come from only one side, your side. If you are always the one initiating texts, suggesting dates, trying to resolve minor conflicts, while the other person seems indifferent or only responds half-heartedly, that's an alarming sign. In a healthy relationship, effort needs to come from both sides. If you feel like you're carrying the entire emotional load and responsibility for maintaining the connection, it might be time to ask yourself if this investment is truly worthwhile. Thirdly, and this is particularly important for those who tend to be more emotionally sensitive, is when you feel the other person is unwilling or not open to sharing emotionally. In a situationship, the other person might avoid deep conversations about feelings, fears, or past traumas. They may not show genuine interest in what you're going through emotionally. When you need emotional support, they might not be there or might react coldly and distantly. This creates a barrier to building true intimacy and trust, which are foundational elements of a lasting relationship. The fourth sign, and perhaps one of the most serious, is when you feel disrespected. Disrespect can manifest in many forms, from subtle to overt. It could be them frequently being late for dates without a reasonable explanation, canceling plans last minute regularly, not listening when you speak, or even making comments or actions that make you feel belittled or devalued. Respect is the fundamental basis of any relationship. If you consistently feel disrespected, it's a strong indicator that this relationship is unhealthy and potentially damaging to your self-esteem. Finally, another crucial sign is when the relationship shows no growth over time. If you look back at the time you've spent together and realize that your relationship seems to be at a standstill, with no progression in terms of intimacy, commitment, or mutual understanding, it could be a sign that this situationship has reached a dead end. A healthy relationship typically involves natural growth, where both partners mature together and build shared goals. If that's not happening, and you feel that this relationship isn't bringing you the joy and fulfillment you seek in a romantic connection, it might be time to make a difficult decision to free yourself. Recognizing these signs is a crucial first step. Facing the reality of a situationship may not be easy, but it's necessary for you to make the best choices for your mental and emotional well-being on your journey to finding a genuine and fulfilling love.